Hello and welcome to class number 4 of the Sustainable Entrepreneur Training Program. I'm Stefan During and I'm your host, as you know. And again, Module 4 or class number 4 is what are our key marketing strategies and challenges. And as we do with all of our classes, we're going to go through the purpose of this program, and that's to shift and accelerate the launch of your business using sustainable practices. Have a successful business and be a successful entrepreneur. So the purpose of this course is to, again, shift and accelerate, have a successful business, and be a successful business plan. Successful entrepreneur. And on the next slide, slide 3, again, this is the same for every class. And what we did with class 3 is we finished the ready a bubble, if you will, a circle. The ready, set, go. And so ready was vision, offering, and sustainability. And in the previous class, class 3, we completed sustainability and what does that mean and how do you integrate that into your business. And today we start the set circle or bubble, marketing, financials, and strategy. So today we're going to be covering a little bit more in marketing. We're going to go much deeper, and we're going to go much deeper into financials. At a later date, we're going to be going into strategy, and we're going to be circling around in these 3 topics for a period of several classes before we go to the final circle, which is the go circle, which is finalizing your team, making sure your stakeholders are on board, and then getting ready for your pitch or your presentations. So I want to take a look at what we, or remind you of what we established already. And our previous class was all about, is it sustainable? And our objectives for this module are the key marketing and strategies and challenges. So was it sustainable and what goes into sustainability? And great, how do you market and brand and position your company today to accommodate that plus other things? So again, the circle's going to be tightening for both marketing and financials today. Additionally, we just completed the first section of our training, like I said a moment ago, the ready circle. And we're going to be going over all the areas of your business to get it ready to launch starting today. Okay, so that said, the objectives of slide number 4, the objectives of today are how best to research your key customers, how to explain your competitive advantages. We're going to be going into quite a bit of detail on both of those, and how what you want from your marketing, and how to build your brand. What is a brand and how do you build it? And then strengths and weaknesses, how do you figure them out, compared to whom, and so on. And then we're going to also lock down your expenses and expenditures. What are the differences and how do you start locking it down? Those are going to be crucial components for today, and that's what our objectives are going to be. Okay, so what we've covered so far in marketing. Let's review what we covered in class 2 or module 2 when we first discussed marketing, and in this module we'll continue to explore the topics in what we will call the marketing spiral, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so what we covered so far are your customers' pains that you have the solution to, and what your solutions to them are. And who is your target customer? The demographics, the psychographics, primary and secondary customers, and the competitive landscape, the same thing. What is primary, what is secondary competition look like? For this course and for your business for now, I want you to focus on primary customers and primary competitors. And if you have many competitors, then that's fine, and that's actually in a lot of ways a good thing. And I want you to focus on your top 3 to 5 competitors that you have, and customer bases if you have them. Make up to 3 customer profiles. Okay, so moving on, the next slide shows that we're now going to go much deeper into marketing and what that means. Let's start with, well, we're splitting marketing into two major sections. You can spend careers on this. You can spend entire semesters taking courses just on marketing and the differences in marketing and so on. So we're just going to do a high level for you to integrate it into your business model for this course. The purpose of marketing is going to be split into two. So today we're going to cover how you want to be seen in the world. And at a later date, we're going to be covering how do you get your message out to the world. So again, today, how do you want to be seen? And another time, how do you get the message out there? Let's start with a basic fundamental question. Slide number 8, the next slide is, what is your brand? There are many, many definitions of brands. I took two. You can read these. I will read it to you to make it easy for you, but essentially there's these two definitions and then there's Stefan's definition of what a brand is. Okay, so these two definitions. This one is from the American Marketing Association Dictionary. A brand: the name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from those of other sellers. Okay, so that's a brand by their definition. Wikipedia, meanwhile, says the personality that identifies a product, service, or company, name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them, and how it relates to key constituencies, customers, staff, partners, investors, and so on. That's Wikipedia's. Now there's Stefan's definition, and you can use whichever one works best for you. They basically say the same thing. And mine is very, very simple. I like simple. And that is, what's the personality of my business? So the personality of a business includes many, many different things. Let's take a look at some examples, which is the next slide, of brands. So we have 5 pretty well-known companies on this slide: Walmart, Tiffany's, Harley Davidson, Columbia, and Apple. So Columbia, what is the brand of Columbia University? Quality higher education is typically what they consider themselves to be. Harley Davidson, tough and rough. Tiffany's, high-end. Walmart is discount. And Apple is design and elegance. So design and elegance is Apple, Tiffany is high-end, Harley is rough and tough, Columbia is education, high-end education, or quality higher ed, and Tiffany's I think is high-end. I'm not sure if I got all of them there. Walmart is discount. Okay, what goes into a brand? There are 10 main components that go into a brand. Now, not all businesses have all 10 of these. If you're online, or if you're B2B, or if you're B2C, they may dictate what you have and what you don't have. But these are all of these are the 10 components that go into a brand. Let's quickly go over all of them here. So the first one, name. The word or words used to identify a company, product, service, or concept. The word or words used to identify a company, product, service, or concept. Logo. The visual trademark that identifies the brand. Tagline or catchphrase. The quicker picker upper is associated with Bounty paper towels. Can you hear me now? Is an important part of the Verizon brand, for example. Those are a couple examples. Graphics. The dynamic ribbon is a trademarked part of Coca-Cola's brand. The dynamic ribbon is a trademarked part of Coca-Cola's brand. Shapes. The distinctive shapes of the Coca-Cola bottle and the Volkswagen Beetle are trademarked elements of those brands. Colors. Owens Corning is the only brand of fiberglass insulation that can be pink, believe it or not. Sounds. A unique tune or set of notes that can denote a brand. NBC's chimes are a famous example. Scents. The rose jasmine musk scent of the Chanel No. 5 is trademarked. Taste. Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC I think they're called now, has trademarked its special recipe of 11 herbs and spices for fried chicken. And movements. Lamborghini has trademarked the upward motion of its car doors, how they swing up. Those are examples in how brands, the distinctions of what goes into the personality of a company and the brands. Now let's give, I want to give you some time in your marketing template. You can put this on pause, you can do it after the recording, but nonetheless your homework is going to be to take a look at your marketing template on the fourth page, if you will, of the marketing template, your brand, and you're going to be filling in the personality of your company. And some things you're going to have, like pretty much every company is going to have a name and a logo and a catchphrase, all in graphics and so on. But you may not have movements, or you may not have smells, or you may not have sounds. It depends on your company and your product. But think about it and say, hey, if I had to think about my company, what kind of images would I have in here myself? And we're going to be sharing that and getting feedback in class with your professor and with your fellow students. Okay, moving on. Features and benefits. This is slightly different from brands, but it's all related and it's going to come together for you if it hasn't already pretty quickly here. Okay, so features and benefits. Let's talk about defining your competitive advantage by getting clear on the features and benefits of your product or service. So I'm pulling up an example of my iPhone maybe. Let me make sure this looks all right. I'm going to pull it up. Okay, so let me just get it on a screen here. All right, so this is my iPhone, and we all have seen them before. Some of us actually own iPhones. Okay, so examples of features of this iPhone versus benefits of an iPhone. What is a feature? A feature, we can use it for any product. We have the drinking water bottles. We have, I don't know, eyeglasses. We have pens, paper clips, you name it. Everything has features and benefits. Let's work with this one for a moment longer. Okay, so features and benefits are very simple. A feature tells what the product is. So the feature of the iPhone is that it has, just clicking, we have iMail, we have, what do we have on here? We have a calendar, we have a chat feature, we have so many things. We have apps, abilities to play music. There's so many different ways, things that are features. It has X number of gigabytes, its processor is a certain speed. Those are all features. Features of a water bottle would be made out of plastic. This one is, what is this? 1 milliliter, 1,000 milliliters in size. So the size of it is 1,000 milliliters. It's refillable as a feature. It has a hook to carry. It's drinkable. You can put any liquids in it. This one you can only put in cold liquids or cool liquids, not temperatures, hot liquids. Those are all features. Now benefits. What are benefits? Let's go back with the iPhone. So the iPhone benefits are, hey, I can call whomever I want, whenever I want. Or a benefit is, I'm never going to be late. This is my calendar. You can't really tell, but this is my calendar. So I'm never going to be late is another benefit. Or get it in the calendar and communicate with other people to make sure they're not late or they remember the event. You can download any app you want, anything from learning English to learning another language to taking photos, on and on. Those are all benefits so that you can carry it all in your pocket. The benefits of the water bottle is it's refillable, so you never have to leave home without another without worrying about if you have enough water. Another benefit would be that it's, like I said before, it's got this hook so you can carry it anywhere you want to go and not worry about it. Strapping it to your stroller or whatever. Those are benefits. Another benefit is the cool color. It's a calming color. You name it. You know, anything from the logo, what is this? Camelback. Okay, so the logo is fun. The name is cool. It designs, I mean, it signifies coolness, whatever. Those are all benefits. Now, if you had to guess, do companies sell on features or do they sell on benefits? Think about that. I'm going to give you an answer in a moment. What do you think people buy on? Do you think people buy on the benefits or the features? Well, the answer is features tell and benefits sell. Features tell, benefits sell. So, what that means is people tend to usually buy on emotions, and that's even in B2B, business to business. There are businesses to sell to other businesses, and so you would think that they just focus on features. No, that's not true. They focus on benefits as well. They focus on slightly different benefits that you're going to define for your own business, but they sell on benefits. Benefits, 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 always. So, and if you don't believe me, I know you believe me, but for you to get really good at it, there are 2 channels that you can watch. The Home Shopping Network and QVC. QVC and Home Shopping Network. They can take the ugliest stuff you've ever seen and they will just talk about benefit, 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 feature, benefit, 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 and they will sell billions of dollars worth of stuff using it. Okay, other examples are, we've all seen commercials with, cars, convertibles going down Highway 1, TV commercials with a car going down Highway 1 in California with the top down and this gorgeous voluptuous blonde woman sitting in the passenger seat, and there's the guy driving away, and we've all seen that. Those are not anything to do with features. Those are all benefits. Yeah, they'll drop in, oh, it's convertible, or oh, it's 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive or stick shift or whatever. Those are all features. But the benefit is, hey man, I can own one of those and I'm going to be next to this gorgeous blonde driving down Highway 1 myself, So people buy on benefits, and companies understand that, so they tend to focus on that. So the reason why I'm bringing this up for you is that most entrepreneurs I've worked with focus on the features and they do not focus on the benefits. So they'll talk about how technical they are or how technical their product or their service is, or we're a law firm and we work from 5 to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and those are features. The benefits are, I'm a law firm, or we are a law firm, and we will make sure we work until you get your problem solved, or we solve it for you. That's benefit, that's not features. And we'll make sure it complies with the law, and we will make sure that everything you do is going to be connected to what the legal limitations are for your business or whatever. Okay, so those are benefits, not features. You get how that works. Okay. So some questions for you to start thinking about, and you're going to be answering them in your workbook in a moment. Either you can put this on pause and you can go to your workbook, or you can do that at the end of this. Question 1 is, what are some of the ways to position your product or service ahead of the competition? Features and benefits. So like, how do I position myself? What's my competitors doing? And this is what I'm doing. And again, the target customers, their pains and your solutions, from their perspective, you're going to be bringing that back into the picture now and looking at, okay, so how am I going to position my company based on what the competition is doing? And can you compete on sustainability? That's another question for you. Since we had class number 3, you're starting to think about, how can I integrate sustainability into my business model? Okay, cool. How can you compete on that? Okay, so those are the 2 areas I want you to be working on. And we're essentially, this is more of the what. From the why, how, and the what. You remember the why we do what we do? Features and benefits are what we do. So why we do it is kind of an emotional starting point. It's where we get all excited. It's where we work with our business, on our businesses, and we build our teams from. We'll talk more about that. But from that video with Simon Sinek, you saw that most companies have it backwards, and they talk about what they do, and then why they do it. It tends to fall at the bottom if they mention it at all. Simon Sinek is saying flip it and talk about why you do what you do, the how and the what. So this is more about the what. Okay, and uh, we also have another recording for today from a guest speaker on marketing, and they're going to be talking quite a bit about marketing. So just know after you watch this recording, or maybe you watched it already, they're going to be talking about their way of talking about marketing. Um, let's review branding and review features and benefits. Well, we did that already. So the next the next is revisiting your target market. Describe your ideal customer. Perfect for your product or service? Um, what are the demographics? What are the psychographics of your target customer? And how are they different? Again, demographics are, the age, the sex, the jobs they had, the income, where they live, and so on. Psychographics are the personalities of your target audience. So, what do they do on their free time, with their free time? What movies do they watch? What books do they read? What magazines do they read? What commercials do they tend to like? What music do they listen to? Those are all psychographics. The more you understand them, the more you get into their head, the, the better it is, the easier it is for you to market to them. And again, if you are your own customer, that tends to help you in so many different ways. So if you have a basketball app and you love basketball and you play basketball and you watch basketball all the time, okay, that can be really helpful. Or if you are a sports app developer and designer, that helps quite a bit. Or if you have people like that on your team, that helps quite a bit. Okay. Um, I don't know if you've heard of the name of a guy, um, Sam Walton. Some of you have, some of you haven't. Sam Walton, if you guessed that Sam Walton is the founder of Walmart, you're right. He wrote a book, he's dead, but he wrote a book in the 90s, I believe, called Made in the USA or something like that. It's a good book. And in that book, he talks about how he started Walmart. And he started in I think the 1950s or so. And he came up with his first Walmart in Arkansas. And he went into at the time, his biggest competitor, which was Kmart. And there still are Kmarts today. So he went into Kmart, which were the big boys in town in the country, and he questioned everybody. He asked everybody. He walked around carefully. He looked at their displays, their pricing, how they grouped products together. He interviewed anybody from the janitors all the way up to the VP of sales. He talked to them. He talked to the salespeople. He just interviewed them, and they loved talking to Sam Walton. So in his book, he talks about that plus many other things. He says that he knew more about Kmart than Kmart knew about Kmart. This is back in the 50s, maybe early 60s. Then, by the time Kmart had even heard of Walmart, they had 100, 150 stores, something like that, some crazy number. And by that time, it was too late. Sam Walton, and as you know, Sam Walton and Walmart, whatever you think of Walmart, if you like it or don't like it, this example still holds, and that is they grew their company phenomenally successfully and very quickly primarily based on what did Kmart do and what did they do well and what could they do better, and then Sam Walton built Walmart around that. Okay, so understanding your target customers, the demographics and the psychographics is exceedingly helpful for that. Okay, so there are, for your homework, you're going to be coming up with your top 3 to 5 features or benefits for your product or service. You're going to be listing it out in your workbook, your EM number 4, Entrepreneur's Manual number 4. And in there is a question on features and benefits, and you're going to list one feature and all the benefits you can come up with, the top benefits for that feature. So if you sell a basketball app, well, okay, so the top feature is, let's say it's like a GoPro with the camera on the band, whatever. And okay, the feature is that it's going to record all of your moves while you're live in action. And the benefit of that is, and then you list the top benefits for that. Okay, so moving on. Uh, these are a couple of things that we're going to be talking about at a later date, but I want you to know that they all fit in with the personality of your business. And that's, how do you close a sale? What does close a sale mean? Well, closing a sale, and we're going to talk more about it later, is where you get the customer to buy from you. That's called closing. Okay, great. Well, there's a bunch of things that are focused on how do you close a sale, and improving your ability to win them over, process to close a sale. What is your process? How are you going to attract them, and what are you going to do to incentivize them to buy your app, or you buy your car, or buy your bagel, or whatever it is that you're making? And then how do you dominate the market? That's all part of attracting your target. And then the last part of attracting your target is, we're going to continue to work on this, but I want you to start thinking about it, is the profile of your market itself. So how big is it? How easy is it to get people in that market? And how easy is it to convert them to customers? So those are all going to be components that you're going to be working on with us quite a bit. Okay, let's shift gears now quite a bit and talk about finances, and the finance spiral deepens. We're going to review a few things that we've done, and then you're going to have some homework to do on this. Okay, so the break-even analysis. Remember that. Break-even is essentially where your gross profit equals your expenses. Gross profit is synonymous with another word or another term, which is gross income. Gross income, gross profit, synonymous. I'm sorry, net income. Net income and gross profit are synonymous. Another way of saying it is how we have it here on the slide, break-even analysis, which is essentially your expenses equal your total revenues minus cost of goods sold. So you sell a bunch of these. Remember that example I used the other day for class number 2? You sell these for $10, but the cost of goods sold, I don't remember what I said, but I think I said $1.50. Let's say the cost of goods sold is $1.50. So that means that your gross profit is $8.50. How many of these bottles at $8.50 do you have to sell to cover all your expenses? That's break even. All right. So let's well, actually, before we continue, I want to go into defining a couple of examples for you. I mean, a couple of terms, redefining them. We've already discussed this, but again, to review this with you. As you can see from this slide, the break-even slide, by the way, expenses, everything starts with knowing your expenses. So we're going to be drilling into that with you starting today. And your homework is going to be, okay, I got to figure out my expenses to be able to figure out my break-even. Okay, good. Makes sense. All right, so what is an expense? An expense is the cost to run your business by month. We're going to do it by month, but you can do it by period, any period, time. Day, week, month, hour, year, quarter, but we're doing it by month. So how much does it cost for you to run your business day in, day out by month? And that's things like salaries, it's things like utilities, it's any other rent is another one, benefits, taxes, all those tend to be expenses. So I don't expect you to have them all in your head or know all of them, what they will be, but I do want you to think them through and say, hey, what are going to be my expenses that I should be including here? Well, how is that different than an expenditure? An expenditure, so how you calculate expenses, by the way, which is slide 20, is what does it take for you to run your company monthly? And then calculating an expenditure, which is the next slide, is it's a one-time purchase. Now, you can have one-time purchases throughout the duration of your company. I'm talking about one-time purchases for you to launch your company. I need that delivery van to deliver my dog food, or I need, I need to build my app before I can sell it. Those are one-time purchases. How much does that cost? What are they, and how much roughly are they going to cost you? If you don't know, put in a range. If you don't even know a range, then leave it open to a question mark and then research it, and as best as you can, you're going to have to start filling in those numbers. Okay, so an expenditure, again, is a one-time purchase to start your company. That's how we're doing it. This is all in your financial template, by the way. We have separate tabs for expenses and for expenditures. So a tab for expenses, you're going to fill that in. We started filling it in, but we gave you some examples. Feel free to change the examples in the tab and put your own numbers in there and your own descriptions so that you remember what you declared or said. Okay, let's do a recap. Today is short because we also want you to watch the guest speaker video on marketing. So the module 4 review, we had two things we went into in detail today. We had marketing and we had finance. In the marketing spiral, we had branding. We went into branding and the personality of your business. And in the marketing template, you will or you did start working on your marketing brand, your company's brand, your competitive advantage, your features and benefits, your target market, and the sales process, the engine. We started to talk about that. We're going to talk more about that in the future, but we did cover that a little bit. Okay, then in the finance spiral, we went deeper into what your expenses are and coming up with a complete list of your startup expenditures. Again, in the marketing template, the financial template, you can start filling in those numbers if you haven't already. And if you have, just review them and make sure that they're tight. That's going to be part of your homework. Okay, so assignments, there you have two or three slides on assignments. Okay, the first one is the marketing spiral. And so what is your brand image going to be? We started talking about that and we started working on that in your EM4 manual. How will you position your company against your competitors? How will you qualify customer prospects? How are you going to identify them? How are you going to screen them and make sure that they are ideal customers for you? And how would you brand your sustainable components authentically? So how are you going to integrate sustainability into this authentically? So this is reusable, and you don't have to throw it away, and that's authentic. So what are your sustainability pieces going to be? Or this is made out of recycled materials or whatever it is. Okay. So what are yours going to be? Okay. Continuing with marketing, complete your competitive advantages over your top 5 competitors. Create statements that translates features into benefits. 3 sentences. That's all in your marketing template. And it's also in your EM4, I believe. So you're going to look at features and benefits. So 1 line on your feature, or 1 or 2, 3 words on the feature, and then benefit, benefit, benefit. Your top 3 benefits for each feature, and come up with 3 to 5 features. not a max. I mean, you might have thousands of them, like the iPhone has thousands of features. Just come up with your top 3 to 5. Um, Identify your brand position in one sentence in the workbook. So, the personality of my business, like as you saw in the Simon Sinek video with Apple, is it's all about beautifully designed and user friendly. Okay, that's their brand, that's their personality, and everything they do goes around that brand. See if you can come up with one sentence describing your brand. And then complete your market analysis and demographics, psychographics. So my market size, my demographics, my target market is, and my demographics and psychographics for that are going to be blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's all in your EM manual. And then the financials are also going to be, you're going to be identifying this, and you're going to be locking down one thing on here. Okay, so there are 3 components. The first one is complete, well, this is what you're locking down. You're completing your startup expenditures, and you're coming up with a minimum of, you know what, I put down 15,000 for a delivery van, but you know what, if I only raise 5,000, that'll be enough to get a delivery van. Okay, so the total minimum go, no go amount. That's what that means. So, hey, I would love to raise $10,000, $50,000, $200,000, whatever it is, but the minimum I really need is X. And on the expenditure side, that's what I'm talking about there. Complete your monthly expenses list. Including paying yourself. So make sure you pay yourself as part of this. Not what you would love to make, but you know what? This is the minimum I need to make while I get this baby off the ground. So again, minimum amount to pay yourself, include that. And determine how long it'll take you to scale your business to cover these expenses. That'll be your break even. So how long is it going to take me, roughly at this stage, what I know about my business? It's going to take me a month. It's going to take me 6 months. It's going to take me 6 years. Whatever it is, know that that's going to be your break-even point. Okay, so those are the assignments. And then lastly, you're going to be playing Genesis, the video game, level 4. And level 4 again is what are our key marketing strategies and challenges. So again, you're going to be wrapping up and coming to class having played Genesis, learning more about this, and having done your entrepreneur's manual and working on your templates. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in class number 5. And watch the video that we have supplied for you for the guest speaker. Okay, very much looking forward to seeing you for class number 5.